every time it's on everything. The life you choosing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop, I rest in peace, and they put support on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So let's go back to a child of God, standing toe to toe, no hot now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock out, that's all she want out of high. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is after you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have caught me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get something, got another go around. Big as they is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decide to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game, so speed like the A train. The thing that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, I just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chase them.
I'm staying chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose my. Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Good afternoon, BFAM1096.com. Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, Facebook, or wherever you are tuning in. This is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we believe that you have a voice and it needs to be heard. We talk about business and Bible basics. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. That's STALK, Your Destiny. And check out previous shows, y'all. We have been doing this for 1 year. So thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for telling somebody that I'm here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for sharing. But go back and check out some of the shows you may have missed on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll be notified every time I go live or post anything to my YouTube channel. Also, you can check out my other show, the Tea Time with Tara show, where I interview guests and ask them what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. Again, this is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. This is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air, y'all. How are y'all doing today? How are you doing? I'm excited about today. And if y'all let me be today, I'm just going to talk to you, which I probably do that every week anyway. But today I don't really have too much to go on in terms of sharing. When I started the show a year ago, I let you guys know that I would be opening up and just kind of sharing some things from my own journey, which I have done. But today I'll be sharing a little bit more or kind of rehashing, So if you have the time while you're listening in or later on today or even this week, take some time and revisit your life in the last year. What things have you faced? What things have you overcome? Where were you last year in your life compared to where are you now in your life? And also celebrate your wins, because no matter what life has done, we made it another year. And I know this is not like, oh, this is a New Year's show or anything like that. It's a new year for this show. It's a new year for this show. And if you knew some of the things that I've walked through to be here with you guys on Mondays, then you would understand that it matters. It matters what you overcome. It matters what hurdles you face. And it matters that you rise to the occasion in your own life, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or amazing. That matters. All right. So again, thank you guys for tuning in with me every week. My numbers have grown from the first episode. We started at 47,000, I believe, listeners at the beginning of the show, to now last week's show, we ended with 223, almost 224,000 listeners live. So I cannot thank you enough. Let's keep growing. Let's keep rising. And hopefully I keep changing lives and impacting your life for the better. All right. So let's get to our food for thought quote for today. It says, what happens when the blessings come with sacrifice. And y'all don't forget, you can comment below. You can, chime in. This conversation is a conversation, and I can't have that without you. So remember, you can comment below wherever you're listening into. I believe you can comment on Facebook, you can comment on YouTube. Okay. So feel free to join in. My food for thought quote: what happens when the blessings come with sacrifice? And so here I wrote, can you stand to be blessed? Can you stand to be blessed, y'all? And I'm going to get more into the food for thought quote in the next portion of the show. But can you stand to be blessed? Like, are you willing to pack up your family, leave everything behind, live in a tent in a place that God promised you and led you to, but it's dry land? Let me break that all the way down, y'all, because I said I was going to share today. So that's what I'm going to do. What happens when the blessings come with sacrifice? Okay. Now I said I was going to share, so let me just open up now. What happens when God tells you to do something and in that time, everything is broken off from you in that time? And so this time last year, when I started this show, I was in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. In the studio. Now, I had made my way to Atlanta because the Lord had told me a year prior that I was going to be moving. And then 6 months prior that Atlanta was where I was going. Okay. And so this has been an obedience walk. This has been a walk of faith, by faith, blind faith. Okay. And so in that, I'm going backtracking, right? I had a year's notice before I moved last year. So 2023, I was informed you're moving in a year. Pack up all your belongings, give away most of your things, and you're going, right? And y'all, that meant that I was physically leaving things behind. I had to physically leave the house that I had been in for the last 4 years. I left that house almost fully furnished, y'all. God said those things couldn't go with me. I left it almost fully furnished. I had to leave my children with their father for the time being until I had made adjustments, which never came, y'all. The adjustments never came. Now, this is God-led, right? And the adjustments never came, okay? But we'll get to that. And so I had to, basically, I was being depleted, okay? Like pruning season, okay? Like God's just like, okay, shave this off, shave this off, shave that off. What do you do in your own life when God says, I'm going to bless you? I have these things for you already in mind. They're already yours. I have them for you. But I'm about to take everything you have right now before I can release those things to you. I'm going to remove every position you have. I'm going to remove everything, y'all. When the blessing comes with a sacrifice, what do? When the blessing comes with sacrificing everything, are you still willing to say yes? And that reminds me of the song by Shekinah Glory called Yes. And she says, will your heart and soul say yes? You know, will your spirit still say yes if God told you what he needed of you? If God told you, like, this show is for God's glory. This show is to show, like, people, we are fucking human beings who want to please God, who are human, who have error, but we want to be right in God's eyes, right? Will your heart and soul say yes to God? Okay. And will you say yes even when it's not easy? Okay. Hey, Chris. Chris said, I didn't know the chat worked. Yes, Chris, it works. Let me see. I can't see what you're saying here. This show is awesome. Thank you so much. Been watching for a few months now on the radio. See you on YouTube now. Congrats. Thank you so much, Chris. And everyone that's been tuning in. Thank you all so much. But can you stand to be blessed? When the sacrifices come, you guys, not when they come, but when you have to release, okay? When you have to release. So, like I said, I got the preparation notice, in 2023 that I would be leaving my home. What I didn't know also was that you're going to lose family along the way, meaning that the day before I left town, my grandmother passed away. The day before I left, my grandmother passed away. And the only thing I could do with that was say, God, I thank you that I was here for the last 12 years to be in her life, to have her in my life for the last 12 years before she passed. Okay? Because who knew that was going to happen? Who knew that that was going to happen the day before I had to get up and go and do what God told me to do? Are you willing to say yes? Are you willing to say yes, y'all? And so I'm going to go more into this. That is the food for thought quote, y'all, is what happens when the blessings come with sacrifice. Okay. So that's all for the food for thought quote. Chris said that was my question about your journey. How do your parents feel about your journey? Okay. Well, I can tell you how my mother feels about my journey. My biological father is passed on, and the man that I grew up calling dad doesn't even know about these things. So my mom is very supportive. To answer your question, Chris, my mom is very supportive in the way that she can. And she just supports by encouraging me to keep going. She encourages me to do what God tells me to, tells me to do. And it's radical, it's not normal, okay? But I've never been normal in that way either. So I think that my mom gets me and she gets my journey. And more than anything, she understands that I'm gonna do what God said, even if I don't want to. Even if I don't agree. You think I wanted to spend a year with everything being taken from me? Absolutely not. More than a year now. More than a year. And I can't, I don't have enough time to tell you all everything that's happened over the last year, but I can tell you with even a devotional portion of the show, I put this one as there's pain and purpose. There's pain in purpose, but there's also purpose in pain. But I put it this way, there's pain in your purpose because we think that we're just going to get somewhere and it's going to be easy. We think that if we make it our own way, that God did it. Oh, but you're going to give God credit for what you did. Because if I was to follow my own mind, I'm not sure what I would have done in this time, in this season of everything that God has given. I would never have impacted over 223, nearly 224,000 listening ears. I would have never impacted you all over the last year had I not been obedient, moved to Atlanta, got on someone's podcast as a guest, had a conversation with the owner of the station, shout out to BFAM, and said yes to the investment, to invest in myself to impact you all. I wouldn't be here. Okay. And so there is pain in your purpose. There's going to be pain in it. Okay. And there's purpose in your pain. Okay. So do y'all think that when Abraham had to get up and go to a place, leave everything behind. He took his immediate family, but get up and go to a place that God was going to show him. Literally did not know where he was going. Okay. And just had to go, had to be obedient. And then when he got there, y'all, the place that he was going, can you imagine in real life, God telling you to get up and go somewhere and you get there and it's dry land and you have to pitch a tent on the dirt. We don't think about that in real life. It's like, surely the God I serve wouldn't do that. Yes, the hell he would. It's done. It's been done before. You're not the only one. Okay. In my life, to me, Atlanta was a dry land. Atlanta was dry land for me. It was painful. Okay. I left everything. I cried for over 100 days for different reasons, but I cried for over 100 days. Okay. In Atlanta. And there's nothing wrong with the city of Atlanta. I felt alive in the city, if that makes sense. I love the South. So there's nothing wrong with Atlanta, but that part of my journey was dry. And I was following God. I was doing like Abraham. Went to a place and had to pitch a tent, except I didn't have a tent to pitch. I didn't have a tent to pitch, y'all. Can you still be obedient to God? Can you truly stand to be blessed? Because we're going to have to walk through the fire. We can't avoid the pain. And I'll get to that more so later. Like all of this is running together, okay? And so we can't avoid that, okay? The promise still remains. And that's what we have to hold tight to, okay? Like if God said it, then that settles it, is what somebody used to tell me. One of my clients used to tell me that. If God says it, that settles it, you know? And so we often question God. We often second guess, like, Lord, is this you speaking? Or is this me making up my own mind? And it can get foggy really quick, y'all, but the promise still remains. When the fog clears, when you wipe your tears away, when God wipes your tears away and you start to feel better, the promise still remains. And God's promises are yes and amen. And I'm sorry if y'all can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me getting emotional, but if you listen to this show long enough, you know how I sound when I get emotional. But the promise still remains. And even when you don't feel like you've gotten to it, y'all, I haven't reached the promised land yet. Or maybe I'm in the promised land. I don't know. You know, I have not seen the fullness of everything God has told me was mine. I haven't experienced that yet. Okay. But I'm still being moved. I'm still being kept by God. Okay. And kept by the people he's placed in right position to be a blessing to me. And I'm still grateful for that because I still get to be a blessing to them. Y'all, the promise still remains. It still remains. So can you keep your faith? You know, lately here, probably even on the show, I've been talking about holding on to your hope because our hope fluctuates, even our faith, you know, but we target our faith, you know, and say, um, oh, ye of little faith, but we're not expressing that we're losing hope, that you're discouraged. You know, I just had a conversation about discouragement. Look, y'all, here I am a whole year later, and I'm still dealing with discouragement. I'm still dealing with battling my hope levels. Okay, trying to stay hopeful, remain hopeful for the things that God has promised. Because how long was Abraham in the dry land? In a tent with his family. How long? Okay. So not only that, there are things in there that we don't know what transpired over time in it. Okay. And not just Abraham either. Okay. Like there were other references, but I didn't want to go through my Bible this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to go through my Bible this morning because it would have taken hours for me to be with God, and I would have heard so many different messages. But it made me think of David, how as a child, David was anointed king and then had to go through life before he actually took his rightful place as king. Had to see other people be king before him, even though he was already anointed king. Y'all, it's time for us to stop playing with God. It's time for us to stop rushing God. Stop thinking that we can control God and we can, force God's hands in our lives. We cannot. And I'm speaking to you and myself because there is no way for me to manipulate God's plan for my life. I want everything he promised me. I want everything. And so if that means that right now I'm in a dry land with a tent, then I'd rather be there. I'd rather be obedient. I'd rather be hopeful that the promise remains. Okay? And I hope that if you're in that place that you decide to trust God, okay? I hope that you decide to trust God in your dry place, y'all, because if we look around at each day, we know his grace is sufficient for each day, okay? For each moment, I used to drive around town and just be like, Lord, if I was hungry, but I was going to a meeting, I'd be like, man, I hope it's something to eat at this meeting. Get there and it's a full spread. Oh, hey, Tara, this group just left and they had all this food here and you can take whatever you want. What? That's the God we serve. Or man, I really want to go do this thing. Like I really want to go show up for this person, but I don't really have any gas in my car, but I'm gonna go anyway. I'm gonna go show up. And guess what? Person says, thanks for showing up. Here's $20. What? That's the God we serve. His grace is sufficient. We don't always need the big thing that we think we desire or want. Not in each moment. You still want it, and there's nothing wrong with that. because that's your heart's desire, and God has that for you. Okay, but within each moment, when we're in a dry place, when you're in a dry place, you are being kept by God. And so, full transparency, y'all, I have been kept by God. I am in a dry place. Okay. I don't know how long this season lasts. I was in a dry place last year when I started this show with you all. This is my first 1 hour radio show. My first one. I've been on radio since 2017, been a producer on radio, co host, and on air, doing a segment and everything. Okay. And this is my first 1 hour show live and on air. And I'm in a dry place. And I get up on Mondays and I pour out. I pour out when I have it, I pour out when I don't. Okay. But that's because I trust God. I trust that if I'm getting up to do what I need to do, then somebody needed me to be there. Somebody needed whatever God needed me to deliver. And I needed it. I need the messaging just as much as you guys do. I need to hear from God just as much as you all do. And so, are you trusting God in your dry place? I don't care what's going on in your life. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or imagine. And I don't say these things loosely, y'all, because I'm telling you that I'm in a dry place. I'm in a dry place. And so continue to trust God. Like, don't lose your hope, y'all. Don't give up on that. Because at the end of the day, you still get to get up and choose. You still get to get up and show up for yourself. Thank you, Chris. Chris said, I need you. Please continue forever. Chris, listen, God said you have a voice and it needs to be heard. And I am going to continue to use my voice as long as I have it. Renee said, I need you. Thank you, Renee. Welcome to. And so this is what I'm showing up for. This is what I'm showing up for. Hey, Sarah, she said, I need you too. I'm so glad to know that I'm helping people. I'm so glad to know that my voice is doing what God intended it to do. Okay. There's no fame here. There's none of that here. Okay. I'm in a dry place. And so if you're in a dry place, please understand that it's purpose. There's purpose in it, but there is pain in that purpose, y'all. Okay. And so let's go back to Abraham. Gail said, we need you here at the office. Hi, Gail. Hey, y'all at the office. Thanks for tuning in. And so Abraham in the dry land, y'all. The thing about the Bible is that we don't have to sit in the time frame it took for them. We could just read ahead. Just read ahead and see what happens, right? But the thing about it was that I might say this wrong, okay? Because I'm saying it from a sermon, not from the biblical reference of the story guideline, okay? From a sermon that I heard, and I might be misquoting it, so go back and read your Bible for yourself always. Read Genesis, okay? But Abraham pitched a tent, okay? Then it was Isaac. Then there was Jacob, right? The God of Abraham. Yeah, Isaac and then Jacob, okay? And so even when Isaac got the promised land or inherited or whatever, the promised land, right? When it was his time, it was dry or it dried up. One of them. Either way, listen, it fluctuated, right? It was dry. It flowed with milk and honey. It was dry. Okay. Like such is life. Such is life. It can be dry. It can be flowing with milk and honey. This is the thing where we say, God, take me from glory to glory to glory to glory. What we don't realize is that when you go up a mountain from the valley to the mountaintop, you have to go back down that mountain in order to get to the next peak. In order to go from glory to glory, you got to go back to the valley. And the part that hurts us the most is the journey. It's the climb. Because I don't know if any of you have ever climbed a mountain. Not me. I have not. I do not aspire to. That's so dangerous to me. And I'm not that risky. That's a risk I don't know if I'm willing to take. But as you climb, and even let's say you're on an airplane. I love airplanes. And so as you're climbing, it's altitude, I believe. As you go higher and you climb, it gets harder to breathe. Can you imagine in life? we're in a dry place, right? We're like, oh my God, I'm so sick of this season of life, right? I'm so sick of it. We're kicking and screaming with God, right? And we're climbing. And God's like, I'm taking you where you said you wanted to go. I'm getting you to that mountaintop. I'm getting you to that glory. And you're like, but Lord, I can't breathe. This is too much. Like, I got this luggage on my back. I'm talking about mountain climbing now. I got this luggage on my back, or whatever you strap on when you're mountain climbing. It's getting hard to breathe here, you know. And I find it funny because we literally kick and scream while God is elevating us. Because even when you're taking off on a plane, if you don't have like gum in your mouth, or you don't hold your mouth open, you're chewing or something, your ears start popping, and that hurts. And they don't just pop right there and then it's over. Then when you get off the plane, you're still like, I can't hear anything. You still have the effects of it, the effects of the elevation. Okay. Of the elevation. And so please know and trust God in your dry place, because you might be in a dry place, but it might be dry because you're elevating. It might be dry because he's preparing everything that he said was yours. It might be dry because that's just the route you needed to take, because God had to hide you from the enemy that was coming after you. And I had some enemies coming after me as well. And God was hiding me. And God will also hide you from the people that he wants to break off from you. He wants to remove those people out of your life, remove you out of their lives. Nothing has to happen for God to change your life. Nothing has to happen, y'all. Stop waiting on a negative situation to happen for God to change the trajectory of the ships that we encounter and entertain. Okay? Friendships, relationships, all whatever. Work relationships, all those things. Stop waiting for something negative to happen to accept the fact that God can change those relationships at any moment, however he chooses. Okay? Doesn't have to be anything bad. It just is. All right? So with that, and I'll probably talk about more of it in a minute, but still with that, trust God in your dry place. Okay? Trust God in your dry place. Now, guys, I've said it this entire year. This is the portion of the show where if you were a sponsor for the show, I would be shouting you out right now. I would be plugging in your 1 to 2 minute commercial right here in the show. But because I am my sponsor, Stalk Your Destiny is my sponsor and has been my sponsor. And shout out to anybody else that's been a sponsor on the show in the last year. Thank you so much for your sponsorships. Thank you so much for your donations. But here, since I have the time, I want to tell you guys about my Tea Time with Tara and friends, Faith, Hope, Love, an all-inclusive retreat this fall in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, I only have space for 20 women. Sorry, men, right now this one won't be co-ed, but we are working on a co-ed one as well. However, I have space for 20 women to join me in Nashville, Tennessee for Tea Time with Tara. For Tea Time with Tara live for a weekend retreat, y'all. All inclusive weekend retreat. So come out. Here, 2 of my favorite coaches, and they are also Christian women. Grow in your faith, grow in your love, and grow in your hope, y'all. This is for you to build up and fill up. This retreat is not one of your girlfriend trips where you come and just take all kind of photos. Now, you can have that type of fun if you want to, but this is about you. This is about you. Excuse me. It's not about exterior. This is about interior. And it's about you getting good food, being in a good environment and getting what you need spiritually, getting fed and encouraged, so that when you return back to wherever you are, a dry place, a prosperous land, wherever you are in your life, that you can flourish, okay? Now, if you're ready to take the next step with that and you just want to go ahead and, start making a payment towards that retreat, then you can visit www.stan.store/stalkyourdestiny. And that'll be the first option you see on that page. That's www.stan.store/stalkyourdestiny. Or you can just send me an email as well. Send me an email with your name and email address, on it, or contact information to teatimewithtara TEA@gmail.com. And that's TEA, like the show, Tea Time with TARAH@gmail.com. You can send me an email or go ahead and visit stand.store and make your first payment, and I will start to send you emails to give you more information and details on my Tea Time with Tara and Friends presents Faith, Hope, Love, and Leadership, an all-inclusive retreat, y'all. I can't wait to see you ladies. Like I said, I only have 20 slots available. This is intimate and purposeful, okay? And it's for you and me. So I can't wait to see you all in Nashville, Tennessee this fall, this October 17th through the 19th. That's the weekend, October 17th through the 19th, so we don't interfere with your work schedule too much. Okay? So again, send me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com or visit my stand.store/stalkyourdestiny to go ahead and get on board with that. Okay? And you guys too, thank you for listening in as well. Again, this is my 1-year anniversary show. So also, if you all wanted to make donations to the show to celebrate me or help me celebrate the show, donations can be made via Cash App at $Stalk Your Destiny, Venmo at Stalk Your Destiny, or you can type in paypal.me/Stalk Your Destiny and write in the amounts you want to donate to the show and just say congratulations or celebrate with me. Again, you can donate and do that through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal at Stalk Your Destiny. Okay? All right, y'all. So thank you so much, too. I am so excited to have made it to a year. I really did have to push to this year, push through this year. And so I'm praying that this next year ahead is a little better for you guys. Now, I will let you all know, and I haven't let you know before, but we will be running previous shows for the next couple of weeks while I set up the year ahead for you guys so that we can do this again next year. But for the next couple of weeks, we'll be running previous shows. I'm just giving you a heads up. Still tune in, still get what you need, still share with somebody, because the messages don't stop changing lives. Okay, no matter how many times you hear them, they don't stop changing lives. And so be sure to tune in. Be sure to still let somebody else know, hey, listen to this show. Like, I heard it before and you missed it, and here it is again coming around for you. Be sure to do that, because what I'll be doing is setting up the next year ahead so that we can flow easier for you guys, and I can have more power in whatever it is God wants me to deliver to you all for the next year ahead. And hopefully we have less missed days on my end as well. You may not know when I missed days, but I do. And so in this next year, I hope to have less missed time with you guys so that I can really show up live, be here, and give you what you need and get what I need as well by hearing the messages that God has for me to deliver to us all. Okay. So the business topic of the week. Okay. Can y'all believe that was just the food for thought in the devotional time? Woo. This show today is something else. The business topic of the week is years in the making. Years in the making. So y'all know it always flows together. Like, God always brings it all together. So the topic is years in the making. Okay. And so here I wrote in my notes that your timeline matters. And so, like I said, I'm going to share with you guys and go over some more stuff about me that hopefully will help you in your life. And, hopefully it does something positive for you. Not only are you getting closer to me, you're getting to know more about me and my journey, but that testimony of it can help you go forward in your life and whatever you're facing. And so your timeline matters. Now, we talked about 1 year ago a little bit, because look, DC can tell y'all that, like, this last year with me has been hell on earth. And not even just that, it's just been a lot of waves of things. Okay, I've overcome a lot in the last year, but let's take it back. When I was sitting with God this morning, I was trying to figure out, what am I supposed to talk about today on the show? Like, how am I supposed to share today? Because I didn't have anything to give. I felt like I didn't have anything to give today. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to talk about or where to go from. And God just said, okay, well, it's your 1 year show today. But let's go back, because like I told you guys, I was in radio. I was a producer, and so God was like, okay, well, let's go back, right? With Stalk Your Destiny, we believe that everything you want to become, you already are. And so as I take you through some of my timeline, think about your own life, maybe write notes if you're able to as well. And don't discount the things that come up while I'm telling you about my own timeline, okay? Don't discount what comes up on your own. Hi, I'm joining you guys from Liberia. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate that. Yes, we're international. Hey. And so everything you want to become, you already are. Okay. And so that means that the remnants of who you have become so far today were already in you. They were already in you. And so in my timeline, let's see, this show is called Tea Time with Tara. Let me shout out my mommy. Okay. Because I'll shout out my mom because she always called me her teapot. She always called me her teapot, y'all. And then it's tea time, everything. And I always drink tea. I love tea and all of that. And so even being called something, being called tea time as a child and singing, I'm a little teapot, short and stout to my mom all the time. Okay. I'm a little teapot. So here I am. Let me pour out, right? Remnants of things, right? Pieces of who we are show up throughout our entire lives. Okay. And so that's that. That wasn't on my paper either. That's not in my notes. Okay. But going back, I wrote here 2011. Let's go back in time to 2011. And we're actually going to go further back than that as well. 2011, I published my very first book called This Love, His Love. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, I am a published author, written and published over 13 books, I believe. And they're all available at Amazon.com. If you look up Tara M. Williams, they are all available at Amazon.com. But it's called This Love, His Love. And the byline to that is finding love is never easy, especially God's love. And so I published that book in 2011. Well, I said, let's take it back some more. When did I start writing? As far as I recall, I started writing in 6th grade. I started writing poetry. Then by the end of 12th grade, I had graduated from high school and I was like, let me write my first novel. So I started writing a novel. Okay. This particular book, This Love, His Love, I did not begin writing that book until 2009. And then I published it in 2011. Okay. And so let's move forward from there. I went on to, I got married in 2011 as well. So I went from being a single 25-year-old woman with no children to being someone's wife and a mother in 2011 and a published author in 2011 as well. So just completely transitional life in 2011. Okay. Everything changed in 2011. And so if we fast forward from there, and I'm talking about the tea, y'all, and I'm talking about the show, it's all coming together, okay? In the books, all of these things are coming together. So bear with me because your timeline matters here, okay? This is years in the making. And we're not even, look, we're just getting started. This is 1 year in this show. We're just getting started, but this is years in the background, okay? And so we go from 2011 to 2014. I'm in a bad marriage. I just had my 3rd child. I said I had the first one in 2011, y'all. So back to back to back, I have 3 sons. And now I have 3 little babies. One brand new, one nearly brand new, one toddler. Okay. 2014. So I had lost me. I had lost me in my marriage. I had lost my identity. I was crying out to God, like, God, who am I? Where am I in my life? Why am I here? And where are we going from here? Where are we going? So to that end, I went to group therapy for childhood trauma. I'm going to say childhood trauma. It goes deeper than that, but childhood trauma. I went to group therapy for childhood trauma as well. And I got to the point where if I could have 1 cup of tea a day, then I made that day a good day. I deemed that day a good day. Okay. And that meant that in 5 minutes, I had to put a cup of tea in the microwave for 3 minutes, run and take a shower, come out and drink the tea while it was scorching hot, and then get back to my babies. That was my real life. 5 minutes a day, 1 cup of tea a day. God gave me a little more time. That 5 minutes a day turned into 15 minutes a day. My shower got a little longer. My tea got a little cooler. I wasn't burning my mouth anymore. So in that time, which was a living hell, okay? It was a living hell. Like I said, we go from glory to glory to glory to glory. It's peaks and valleys in this thing, okay? And there's a book called Peaks and Valleys too. If you never read it, by Spencer Johnson, read it, Peaks and Valleys. And also read his book, Who Moved My Cheese, as well, okay? But there are peaks and valleys in this. So my 5 minutes with 1 cup a day went to 15 minutes. And so somewhere in that 15 minutes, how could I not think about just me, right? How do you have 15 minutes a day for yourself and you're thinking about the world? What did I do? I decided to get on Instagram and put up a text photo that just said, if you're seeing this message, then I pray that God's light is shining on you right now. I pray you get a piece of sunshine. I was encouraging people in the 15 minutes I had for a fresh shower and a cup of tea. 15 minutes to breathe. I took that time not only for me, but for the world. Because again, I was still encouraging me, but I was doing it publicly. So I was sharing my encouragement as well. 1 cup a day, 1 cup of tea a day. So that went forward into being an hour of power. Life went forward into me. I started Stalk Your Destiny in 2015. So we celebrated 10 years with that this year. And so let's fast forward some more, okay? Because I don't have all day to tell y'all everything, which I want to. This story is so loaded. These years in the making. Like I said, think about your own life and your own timeline. Don't overlook these things that God has brought you through. Don't overlook the hell that you had to fight to get out of. Don't overlook the things that felt good or looked good but weren't good for you. Okay? Don't overlook it. Don't discount any step in your journey. Okay? And that's one of the things that says there are no steps to skip. There are no steps to skip. And you've got to prepare for takeoff, okay? And you can't prepare for takeoff skipping steps either, okay? So if we go from 2014, by 2017, I had met a radio personality who wanted me to work in the background on the production of his show. He was a morning show host on a radio station and wanted me to help in the background with his stuff. And even to this day, y'all, I just coordinated his wedding, which was June 7th. I coordinated his wedding, okay? And that's how that goes. From 2017 to helping him on the radio to coordinating his wedding in 2025, okay? So being a part of that as well. We never know. We never know what God is doing. There's a reason for each encounter that we have, especially the ones that stick. We never know. So 2017, I did that. 2018, I was the co-host and producer for a show. Shout out to Truth Music, which is a Christian hip hop music station. And my friend Quentin at the time was, he was stepping out on faith in his journey. And so I got to co-host and produce his radio show. That was 2018. 2019, oh my gosh, in 2018, tragedy had struck a little bit in my family. And so we had some things we had to prepare for, which did not happen that year, but some tough things happened. And the home that I was living in, I had to move out of. And so I ended up house hopping for 20 months, house hopping every day, trying to figure out where was I going for 20 months. And in that time, I ended up writing multiple books. I ended up taking my line of planners with my company from 4 to 8. And some of the books I wrote, I've shared with you guys over this last year. I've shared my book Permeate with you guys. Some things from Permeate I've shared with you all. And I've shared the food for thought quotes. Majority of those came from my book, The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And I wrote that in a car. I wrote ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny while spending time with friends and writing in their cars. I wrote it on my phone. And now I got to share over the last year those food for thought quotes from that book. Okay. And so that was 2019. And 2020, I was able to be on the morning show that I was the producer in the background for. The morning show, I got to be on that as a segment. Shout out to DJ Rose. And shout out to Theo Lewis Clark as well, because he was the radio personality in 2017. He probably won't see this though, because he doesn't do social media and things like that. But shout out to them anyway. And so 2020, I had my segment, okay? And then God showed me some more things. These are layers, y'all. Things we overlook in our journeys. You are preparing for takeoff. Don't overlook or discount anything that God has had you do over time. Things that may have only lasted a year, things that may have only lasted a few months. If you did the work and you did it to the fullness thereof, don't discount it, okay? Because let me go this other timeline, which overlaps, okay? I also started in 2019 on Facebook doing a moment of truth on Wednesdays. It was just 15 minutes. I'm like, I'll just get on here real quick. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, if it ain't segmented for me, I'm probably not going to do it. This radio show has been segmented for me, by me. Okay. Because I don't really talk a lot. I'm outside of this radio show. You are not going to hear me talk for an hour straight. I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. So I'm pretty reserved, unless I'm like laughing with a friend. I'll laugh all day, but I'm pretty reserved other than that. I only really talk when I have something to say, and it has to be a really engaging conversation for that to happen. So good luck with just hoping I talk for an hour. I'm not, I don't want to, but Moment of Truth was 15 minutes on Facebook. This was preparation. Everything I did prepared me for this show. Okay. This was preparation. Moment of Truth, 15 minutes. Monday Morning Mindset, I started let me go back. Tea Time with Tara online, the pandemic happened. And Tea Time with Tara was an in-person gathering since 2016, y'all. Since 2016 has been an in-person gathering. And in 2020, when the pandemic happened, I had to start going live online to do Tea Time with Tara. Okay. And then I started writing Earthly Branches, my devotional series, which I have shared with you all this entire year. I've shared with you guys this entire year. Okay. And so please understand too that none of the work that you're doing is in vain. I'm speaking to myself too. None of the work you're doing is in vain. There's a place for it and a time for it. I've told y'all all these things they have used on this show in the last year. And these are some things that I've cried about over the years. Like, why did I have to do that? And it's not even being used. Well, God was like, I had something for it. And there's more to come. And there's more to come as well. Okay. So also don't throw away what you've put your works into, especially if God told you to do it. It's just waiting for the time, the right time. And if you need help with that, read Ecclesiastes 3. I think we all need help with it. Read Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time for everything. Okay. So I did Tea Time with Tara online. I created my Earthly Branches, a 12-book devotional series. And then we went to Monday Morning Mindset, which was only about 15 to 20 minutes as well. It was just encouragement for the week. It was just kind of like I do the food for thought quote here, and I could talk about it for 2 to 3 minutes here, but it was 15 to 20 minutes then. Monday Morning Mindset, okay? And that also turned into Sunday Morning Live with Tea Time, where I just did the devotionals for an hour that day. It really wasn't an hour, though. I gave myself an hour. I think I did it for about 45 minutes. I had music in there. I had my favorite tea, and everything. So what am I saying here? You are years in the making. Please do not discredit anything that you've done in your past. Please do not be discouraged, despite being discouraged, even if you are discouraged, because I have been discouraged. I just had that conversation this weekend. I have been discouraged in my journey. Even if you feel discouragement, okay? Stalkers don't ever quit. They never ever quit. We don't quit. Don't you give up on you. God's not giving up on you. You're just years in the making. You're not just gathering a catalog, a magazine, one suitcase for this journey that you're on. It's bigger than that. Okay. There's way more impact than that. Okay. And everything is not about the money, but something's about the peace, the joy, being kept by God. I am in a place in my life right now, you all, where I am being kept by God. I am being provided for by God. And I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I was kicking and screaming in this place because I want to take care of myself. Isn't that silly? Like, who doesn't want to be kept by God? but it's not as easy as it looks or feels. Okay? Being kept by God means you go to the place where God is showing you, pitch a tent and sleep on dry ground, and God will provide. It looks like leaving Egypt and going to the wilderness and God allowing manna to fall from the sky. And then you look up and go, wait, what happened? Or God letting water come out of a rock. But God is providing. God is providing and still telling you where to go. Like, don't be like the Israelites, y'all, and just complain along the way as the story goes, okay? And I won't complain, okay? But I will relate to you in saying that you can get discouraged in these years in the making, but don't you ever give up. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on the fact that even if it's only one person that needs you, needs your voice. You have a voice and it needs to be heard. You are here for a purpose. I know you have pain, but this is in purpose. Okay? Your pain is in purpose. You are years in the making. Get to the place where God is taking you. Don't forfeit that. Get to the place where God is taking you. Get your joy back. Get your peace back. Get your money back. Okay? Get all of these things back. Get your wholeness back. Get your mind back. Look, y'all, do me a favor today. Whether you feel discouraged or not, but especially if you are down and out, okay? Because I have battled and overcome chronic depression. I just got a pedicure on Friday. I oiled my scalp because getting my nails done and making sure my hair is done are what I call lifelines to battling chronic depression. And that's the maintenance portion of things. I'm not depressed, but that's to make sure I don't fall back into a depression, right? But one of the things I want y'all to do for me that will help you with, if you're feeling depressed as well, if you're feeling anything down and out, or if you're feeling good, something that's still going to help you feel better, y'all. Do me a favor and have a 30-second or more dance party today. This show has been here for 1 year, okay? Tea Time with Tara Live and On Air celebrates 1 year today. Get up and dance for me, okay? I danced before the show and I'm dancing some more after the show, okay? So get up and dance because that makes you feel alive. And if you just turn on your song, you choose. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't try to pull anybody else into it. Sometimes we just need ourselves, okay? But get up and dance, all right? Woo! All right, y'all. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys today. I didn't really know where God was going to take it because I could have gotten overwhelmed with emotion, but I didn't. And I'm glad I wrote my notes down too, so I could just go straight through the timeline because your timeline matters. Look at your own life. Look at your own timeline from childhood to wherever you are right now. It matters. The good and the bad made you who you are today, and you're just getting started. You're just getting started. Whatever this next level is that God says we're preparing for takeoff, you're just getting started. Okay? So be excited about that. Get excited about that because his promises are yes and amen. His promises are yes and amen, y'all. All right. So this is the portion of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. But this is the portion of the show where I ask you to support the show. If you love the show and you know anybody who can sponsor an ad, whether they have a company, a service they offer, a product that they offer, or whatever it is, if you just want to even just shout out someone, you can become a sponsor by sending me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. And that way I can either hear what you have to offer or I can also send you information on our sponsorship packages and you can choose which one best fits you. So again, you can send me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com to become a sponsor of the show. I would absolutely love to have my sponsors booked up for the next year ahead, y'all. So please consider being a sponsor or consider asking your employer, your friend, your family member to become a sponsor of a show that you love that changes your life and changes the lives of others as well. Also, if you don't want to be a sponsor and you just want to donate or you just want to say, congratulations on your 1 year mark for Tea Time with Tara Live and On Air, you can do so through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal at Stalk Your Destiny. Again, on Cash App, that's Stalk Your Destiny, $ Stalk Your Destiny. On Venmo, it's just Stalk Your Destiny. And on PayPal, you can type in paypal.me/Stalk Your Destiny, or you can type in Stalk Your Destiny at gmail.com. Okay. Don't forget, y'all, that I'm having a fall retreat this fall, October 17th through the 19th in Nashville, Tennessee. And so you can head over to www.stan.store/stalkyourdestiny for that, or you can send me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. Okay. If y'all haven't noticed, I'm like, email me, communicate with me, please. Okay. Let me communicate with you. teatimewithtara@gmail.com. Okay. And also, I would just love to have you all as a sponsor. Shout out your company. Shout out whatever it is you have going on. And also, again, donations can be made at Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal at Stalk Your Destiny. This has been Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Again, if you haven't already, go over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny and hit the subscribe button, y'all. Also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I go live or post on my YouTube channel. You can also check out my other show, the Tea Time with Tara show, where I ask guests what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny, and you can see whatever they needed to say or had to say. If you want to connect with me on social media, you can connect with me at TikTok, on TikTok at Stalk Your Destiny, on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official, or on Facebook at Tara M. Williams. That's TARAH. Also, again, if you want to check out any of my books, you can visit Amazon.com and type in my full name, Tara M. Williams, and all of my books will come up there. I think it's about 13 books that I've published, written and published. I think it's 13, maybe more, there. All right. Again, I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. This has been Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.
I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making that down, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still starting my destiny. I'm still starting my destiny.
Every time it's on everything, the life you choosing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gonna stop, like rest in peace, and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't laid back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm the one opponent, you don't want none from manual back where my strength get pumped from. So what's the lie to a child of God? Standing toe to toe, no hiding out. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock out. That's all she want out of high. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The assassin, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have come me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains, and faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game, supposed to be like the A train. The path that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. I'm by myself, I don't gang bang. When you wanna get in my crown, then I'm down every time, I just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chance to.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still starting my destiny. I'm still starting my destiny.